I'm so excited.
But let's keep it together. At least until the first death.
I hope your front door is locked and your phone is switched off. It's match time, and nothing can come in the way of a head coach and his Blood Bowl.
Is that we are this is the third game with the same two coaches, the same two teams, and Mallak must be pretty confident at this point about his defensive game. He now, of course, in game 2 in the first half, Knockoff almost scored, except he rolled a 1 on the last GFI. So
and in the second half, I think he had a really solid game going until he had that one turn with double skulls, then pushes, then a both down on a blitzer, which just meant he had basically 4 blocks fail on him. He would have had a much easier go at it if it weren't.
Okay. I lost you at the end there, Sage. So, the kick comes up, cheering fans, extra reroll for the Alcohogs. A deep kick. Which is probably okay with the Rats. They don't mind running back and keeping it safe.
Hanging back with the ball is fine, especially if you plan on stalling.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about the merits of Guard versus Juggernaut on the Rat Ogre, and you were saying that you would have preferred Juggernaut just because the Rat Ogre is doing a lot of blitzing. And you know what? With Guard, I kind of expected this Rat Ogre to be on the LOS just to like help out more. Oh.
Some terrible blocks for the Skaven.
Yeah.
0 knockdowns, a reroll used. This has been a terrible start for.
Yeah, I'm honestly a bit confused about the Rat Ogre being a blitzing Rat Ogre if they decided if Mallak decided to pick Guard. But it's on the other hand, it's clear that he is a better Skaven coach than I am. So we'll see. Yeah, that's not a good start.
Yeah, the other reason why I think Juggernaut is great on the Rat Ogre, I mean, obviously it makes your regular blitzes safe, but it also makes your serfs a lot more likely, and crucially, it helps a ton in making one-turn touchdowns. And that's something that the Skaven might very well need.
Yeah. Oh, at least that's an armor break, nothing more than that. It seems like the Rat Ogre has decided to go hang out on the right-hand side here and just tie up 2 of the, well, the one of the runners and one of the Longbeards.
Not a bad place to be. The Dwarves are likely to get surfed if they can't do something about that, and they don't have the players near there to do so easily. So he might have to dodge out, and if he causes a turnover sometime earlier, then he's in big trouble there.
I'm just I don't know. I guess I'm slightly not surprised, but the fact that there are now how many rats? Two rats are already based, so they're going to get blocked. Rat
that's
Ogre.
Very unfortunate.
Okay, but that's just a stun, and actually this other, well, okay, yeah. So running over to get that extra assist on the number 4 line rat here. It'll be interesting to see what the Thurn black-livered runner does, because if that runner stays put, I think we can be pretty confident that the Rat Ogre is going to surf the runner. I don't think there's...
At the very least, he's going to try a half die, and I suspect he's going to dodge out instead.
Yeah.
Which is still a 50-50 dodge.
Yeah, I mean it's a very nice result on just one Rat Ogre blitz. You're essentially well, you're like you said, you're 50-50 to knock down an extra player just because you ended up where you ended up.
And an armor 8-1 at that.
But he don't care. He rolls a 6 and just runs away.
I didn't expect him to go forward there, but I guess pressure on the ball is not bad to have if you're worried about the Skaven stalling.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Knockoff do this earlier. It's but at that point he did have, I think he had some more backup than just one player. We'll see how Mallak decides to deal with this.
It's nice to see how the prone Skaven is actually in the way of people moving through there.
Yeah. Okay. I would assume that, well, okay, we are getting a blitz here. At first I thought maybe more blitzing with the Rat Ogre, but maybe Mallak feels like the Rat Ogre with the guard is in a good position. Unfortunately, no armor break.
Well, if the Rat Ogre stays there, then he's still bringing this blocker there, or this Longbeard, into danger, right? I mean, he cannot stand up that Longbeard as long as the Rat Ogre is standing there. So it's not a bad place to be.
No, and it seems like Mallak is just gonna do his best to let the turns run out early on. Like you said, there's no real pressure on him to score right now, and if he can just have a nice relaxing time and not get hit by the Dwarves, I think he's pretty pleased with that. We're getting a question from Stream Chat about inducements for this game, and the information we have is that there are no inducements. There might be a babe. Unfortunately, we weren't unable to see that. But as far as I know, team value in both of the teams are the same, and no one had enough money in their in their cash register to actually buy anything. I think Mallak was at 40k and Knockoff was at 10k. Might have been the opposite. Oh, going for pushing the Rat Ogre. I semi-expected, well, I guess it's nicer to not have the Rat Ogre next to the Dwarfs.
The blocker is in less trouble now, at least.
Mm-hmm. We have mentioned it, but I think it might be important to re-mention it. Only one Troll Slayer this game. The other one was Miss Next, which means that the Rat Ogre, I guess, is slightly more safe. Knockoff didn't really go for that many Dauntless blocks or blitzes, but a few of them happened, so...
I think the Dwarves are mostly hesitant about committing to a defense on that side because they know how fast the rats can be, and how they can wind up on the wrong side of the pitch and be outsped very quick.
Putting down another threat to the ball carrier here, and this is the unskilled gutter runner finish. No SPP at all. So as soon as someone with block comes close by, that guy wants to move, get away from there.
But this already puts him far enough away. I mean, the blitzer can mark him with 2 go for it, but that's really not worth it. So that gutter is now already safe again, and it has the dwarf running after him, which is something Skaven kind of like.
Yeah. It's interesting how different this start is compared to, like, of course the end of a game is always going to be crazier, but we had two halves of like really not crazy but very high flying gameplay. Like, weird things happened, people failed rolls, and this has just slowed right down. And I would guess that it's because both coaches know that there's something to lose at this point. Like, you don't want to make a mistake.
The Skaven's first turn was pretty crazy in terms of dice because they didn't knock a single dwarf down, which means they have to be very conservative about how they advance here. They can't really push hard like they might like to.
Yeah. So The guard Storm Vermin comes up to give an assist. Oh, yep. Still not using the Rat Ogre, instead just using, I guess, he's big and scary. Guard in front. I mean, he is really scary. Him being there means that it's always dangerous to be on the 2 end squares here, because if you're unfortunate, you might get surfed. Unless, of course, you base the Gutter Runner, but you don't really... no, Rat Ogre, but you don't really want to do that, because that's also dangerous.
Yeah, this is very interesting from a positional point of view, because the Skaven only have 1 sidestep, the Dwarves don't have any stand firm, and they both have a frenzy, which means that this positional battle for the sideline and the surfing threat can go either way, especially with Dauntless on the Troll Slayer. That Rat Ogre himself is also not safe from getting surfed in turn.
Mm-hmm. Still, I'm like, not much is happening, but I think that's because both teams feel like there shouldn't be too much happening. I mean, this kinda happened in game 1 as well, but of course the Dwarves were receiving then. Me and Lewpac talked about how Knockoff perhaps wasn't as aggressive as we would have liked him to be. That changed in game 2. But right now, not really. Yes, pressuring the Rats a bit by positioning his Dwarves in a way where they can reach the ball carrier, but not really trying to base any of the weaker players here.
I guess he's just going to put his Blitzer somewhere in the center.
Oh,
we get a nice chain push going here.
Is this... No, this chain push can't end up in a surf, I don't think. No.
No, if he had stood up the Dwarf before, then it might have, but that Dwarf is still prone.
Yeah.
The long beard on the side.
Okay, let's see if... Yeah, running... I'm guessing the Dwarf Blitzer here just running back to force Mallak to move his Gutter Runner up. Now the Blitzer can actually here reach most of the backfield with the Rats, so the Gutter Runner probably has to move next turn, unless they want to move back and blitz the Dwarf Blitzer.
Yeah, so this is some good positional play by the Dwarves. He can make an advance here somewhat towards the left side, but he doesn't have all that many players down there. So the ones that are up front here on the right are largely prone, unable to move around, marked, which means that the Skaven are starting to feel a little pressure here. So falling back and blitzing that one Blitzer will really set back their advance quite a bit, and the right side of the pitch is becoming very, very crowded.
Oh, that's a failed dodge. Probably just want to make sure that the Longbeard is not next to the Rat Ogre.
Yes, this way he can move him safely next turn, unless the Rat Ogre gets moved, which is hard to do anyway.
It does open up for a Rat Ogre Blitz, though. Because we now have... we do have this called Beer Belly. I don't think Kolg had Mighty Blow before. I think that's the new skill up on Alcohogs, but I'm not 100%. I'm like 80% sure. 5 out of 6.
That is correct. No, it's new. So they skilled one Mighty Blow before game 2, and now they skill the second Mighty Blow before game 3, which they really, really need. Oh, we have a lineman blitz here. It is good, which means he is going for the space that was left on the left side of the pitch. So he's probably going to make a loose screen down here and do a handoff play, I think.
I would assume it's a handoff play to the actual, good gutter runner. The blodge sidestepping one. Which, he, for the most part, I think he should be able to outrun pretty much everyone here. Might elect to not do that. Like, the quickest path, he can outrun everyone, but he'd have to do a dodge through a Longbeard with tackle. It's probably not something he wants to do.
I expect him to just walk around, indeed.
Oh,
especially now that he failed this handoff and uses his reroll. So now he's definitely not going to make that dodge through the tackle guy. But because he has sidestep, he can go all the way to the side and hug it there. But he is going to be very much alone, which means the Skaven might very easily be pushed to a quick score this half, which is pretty huge for the Dwarves.
Yeah, assuming everything goes the way we think it's gonna go, the rats, if the rats move forward now, and I don't see a reason why they wouldn't, they'll probably score on turn 5, giving the Dwarves 4 turns to equalize in the first half.
Yeah, that gutter really doesn't want to hang back because the Dwarf Blitzer can mark him even if he's on the sideline, which means he's going to be kind of stuck there. So he's really going to want to run forward, which means he'll need a lot of backup. Now, there is a hole on the right side, which means the Blitzer there and maybe even the Rat Ogre can swing around and get some extra distance and start to screen up a little bit to create some safety in the back, hopefully. But yeah, this is not the result he was looking for. I guess he was planning on making the GFR, the dodge that you mentioned, and is now worried about his position because he doesn't have the reroll to do that.
So the Storm Vermin here runs back to base the Blitzer, kind of hoping that Knockoff doesn't want to risk dodging with an agility 3-piece. He's probably still going to move the Grutter Runner. Wild Animal failed.
I don't think so. If he chooses to mark this Blitzer, then he's probably not going forward, because there's really no point. He would want that Storm Vermin up towards the opponent end zone if he were going forward. So this suggests he might be going backward.
That is, yeah. I think you may be right. It's just that is still a pretty scary. Like, that is not very safe. I mean, we're not expecting the dwarves to dodge much because they're dwarves. I guess he could just run straight to the left-hand side, and the blitzer wouldn't be able to blitz. He'd only be able to base the gutter runner.
Yeah, and the 3+2+2+, just in order to mark him and get blitzed off again is not that great. And it does mean that the Skaven don't have to score on turn 5, which they really don't want to do anyway.
Whew. Yeah, this is oh yeah, only 17 seconds left. Mallak still elects to go forward. Pretty sure that was a tough choice to make here.
Yeah, this just means that the moving the Storm Vermin back rather than swinging around the right side is really surprising to me. He's going to need all the help he can get up front if he wants to stall anymore, which he really does. And he had the Longbeard down there from the dodge last turn, which means he could have just moved around there and screened some of those guys off. Now they can move quite a bit more than the Skaven wants to, and I really think he's going to see himself pressured pretty badly.
Let's see
down here.
Yeah, so there is a blitz on the Bull Carrier right now from Somsen, or the Longbeard here can just run down, do 2 GFIs and get to him. This is the guard Longbeard. If the guard runner here manages to remove the line rat, which shouldn't be a problem because there's a free troll slayer here. Oh no! Okay.
No, he doesn't make it. Oh, well.
I am Oh.
Ouch! Oh,
I'm surprised. I am really surprised by that. I'm one like. Okay, so I guess the plan is to just tie up the gutter runner with 2 pieces.
Yeah,
possibly.
So the runner can get on in easily, and the tackler might, although it's...
No, the tackler... Let's see,
It's 2 GFIs
yeah. Nope,
with no...
okay.
Oh, he doesn't. He chooses to mark the other gutter.
I'm surprised by that play. Oh, there we go, a KO. I think that's the first injury of the game. But yeah, I'm really surprised by both of these turns actually. Like you said, the Storm Vermin moving down to block the Blitzer, but then the Gut Runner moving up. But then also
another double skulls.
Yeah. It's in this case, it's not the end of the world. Most of the important stuff has already been done. But there should... Let's see. Is there actually a blitz on the... Is there... Well... Huh. There is not really...
He could do a one die with the gutter if he gets... With the ball carrier, if he puts this other gutter there. But that's still a 2+ dodge with no reroll. So if that fails, then your one die is pretty scary. Of course, on the both down, the one die also doesn't work, but you still got a 3+2+ with the dodge skill to get out of there.
Yeah. I mean, it's... The Gut Runner isn't really that stuck, but of course it's not. Because it's a ball carrier, you don't really want to make that if you don't need to.
If he does get a knockdown on that runner, or even a push in a favorable direction, he can stall for another turn, I think, here. Because none of these others can really reach back there.
Yeah. If he blitzes and just moves to well, actually no, he can't move to the other side. Well, actually he can move to the other side because these guys can only base, they can't. But yeah, I'm wondering if these are these kind of tricky situations where I'm not sure if I'm just not seeing the play, or if we're seeing our players show some fatigue in the fact that they've been playing high-level Blood Bowl for the last 5 hours.
I'm pretty sure that Knockoff did not see the play that you just suggested. If he had, he would have definitely made that 2 GFI blitz on the ball carrier with tackle.
Okay. Oh, and that's a wild animal. That's really unfortunate for Mallak. Really good for Knockoff.
But I don't think that Rat Ogre is going to be that important in this tribe. I think he's...
Yeah, I mean, it's... Okay, here we go. It's... If Mallak goes for the blitz push out and then running to the opposite side, having the Rat Ogre move forward and block this piece of some more would add some extra safety. Here we go. Here comes the... Oh, no.
Oh, it's a skull and the reroll. Oh,
reroll.
It is a knockdown. So
yeah.
So he can stall. That's good. He's got one more turn of stall. But you're right. If the Rat Ogre had been able to move around there, then the stall might have continued longer. Now, I expect the Skaven will be scoring turn 6.
Yeah. This knockdown, however, does mean that the Gut Runner doesn't have to switch sides. So he is definitely safe for one more turn, which I would say is probably like that's a reroll well spent. If you have the option of letting the Dwarves do 3 turns touchdown rather than 4 turns.
I'm just trying to imagine how Mallak felt when he made that one die and it was a skull and he was hovering over the reroll button, trembling. That has to be some tense moment right there.
Yeah. Okay. And also, I think it's important at this point to point out that the Skaven do have kind of an ace in the hole when it comes to the Dwarves receiving the ball in the later half of this half, in that they have their kick piece in the reserves, so they are going to be able to kick, which means they can pretty reliably kick the ball really deep, and the Dwarves will have to just move the ball much further. On the other hand, yeah, go on.
Not only that, but they also have 11 players still. Oh, well, yeah, still 11, which helps a lot. I mean, Dwarves usually, after a long drive like this, want to be ahead in players, and the Skaven failing to break must be really irritating to Knockoff. He's had that before, and it cost him a match already, so I can imagine that he's really annoyed that he's again failing to kill some rats.
Yep. And Yes, and what was I going to say? Right, I was going to remind everyone that even though we may not believe it, we have seen that this is a passing dwarf team, so who knows? Oh, here comes the blitz on the... Oh, that's an unfortunate push. That's a much better POW.
I'm a bit surprised he pushed him in that direction. I would have expected him to push him away from the end zone, but since it's a stun, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the question now is that, is there anything Mallak can do here to stall one more turn? And
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't look like it.
I don't think it's possible. With the two tacklers back there, that corner is off limits, and there is just no way to mark or blitz either the Troll Slayer or the runner, so I do not see this being anything else than a touchdown. And given that he doesn't have a reroll, he's just going to run it in right now.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, regardless of how late Mallak wanted to score there, being one up means you're currently in the finals. We'll see how the rest of this half turns out.
So the line rat is back, which means the Skaven have 12 players, so they can field their kicker and still have a reserve. That's very helpful. The Dwarves still have all 11, of course, so that's not a problem either. Now, the Dwarves only have 3 turns, so that is not favorable to them, but it's certainly doable, especially if you can roll 6+ passes like these Dwarves can.
Okay, let's see what happens. So, yeah, moving the rat ogre back here to make sure that there's I guess a blitzing threat. Putting the gut runners next to it, making it extra safe. Basically, everyone that's worth something is behind the expendable pieces.
Yeah, getting your good players in a position where they're not getting blitzed is definitely a good idea. And against Dwarves, you can afford to not cover the sides too much. Besides, you've got this frenzy player who can punish any sideline advance. So the Dwarves probably want to go relatively down the middle usually, but they don't have the time for that. If they pick a side, however, the kick skill really comes in handy because the ball is going to go in the opposite corner and they're going to have a lot of distance to cover.
Yeah, and let's see here what the alcoholics are going to do. Currently, of course, in the default setup, both of the runners are in the back here. Make sure that they can quickly get to the ball. And I mean, there's always the threat of the Dwarves not being able to secure the ball and having one of the gutter runners sneaking through and being a nuisance. Like if they roll badly on this pickup, that might be a problem. And I mean, Knockoff can't really afford to be. I don't think that's going to happen. Huh? But can't really afford to be 2 down in the first half because then they're pretty much done. But it does kind of mean there's a choice here. Do I try and go for the possible 1-1 here? Maybe moving one of the runners up to get some more mobility up towards the front, or do I make sure that the ball is actually safe in the back?
Yeah, that's a very tough call. Normally, I would say Dwarves who need to score in 3 turns, they want a runner upfield, especially if they're faced with kicker. But given the fact that you're playing against Skaven, which are so scary, fast, and agile, you really want to make sure you've got the ball covered. I could see him having 1 runner to pick up the ball and having like a blitzer in the back to keep him safe, but I guess 2 runners works pretty well. Now, I would expect him to spread them out a little more to the 2 flanks. No, he's going for the all-out offensive one. So if the pickup fails, then he's got a huge problem right here. One advantage for the dwarves, though, is that in this case, after the last turn, there will not be a Skaven turn. So if they have this very silly play that will almost be guaranteed to lose them the ball, at least it won't be recovered by Skaven. Ooh, we have a perfect defense for the Skaven. That's got to be trouble. Now, he does have agility 3 on both sides, so he can afford to slightly switch it up a little bit, but it's going to cost him some blocks at the very least.
Yeah, moving.
Oh, and we have the Rat Ogre going on the line. This is where his guard comes in very well, of course, especially since the dwarves weren't able to position to take advantage of that. So this is looking pretty good for the Skaven right now.
Oh, that is nice. Oh, moving, putting 4 on the LOS. I wonder if he's going to move the other line. No, he can't really move the other line right away. This is...
I think the other line rat's just going to go back a square. He's not going to stay there.
I mean, this is... Regardless, this is not what the dwarves want here. A really deep kick that only one of the runners can reach. The other runner pretty far forward, but of course can run him back and do some defense. But it's going to be really hard for the dwarves to actually move the ball forward here and actually have a chance at scoring. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that is the worst bounce.
Yeah, that is in a GFI. Oof.
Knockoff is probably cursing right now.
Let's do some. Let's count some spirits. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, the only good news here is that the good gutter runner, the blodge sidestepper, can't actually reach the ball.
He can't pick it up, but he can mark it if he if he blitzes. So moves one of those guys or blitzes away that tackler over there. And a blodge stepper marking the ball is already a disaster, especially if you don't have any tackle nearby. But of course, a pickup would be even worse.
Whew. This is like... I'm so pleased that these games are this tense, but damn, these games are tense. Like it's turn 6 for the dwarves, and I'm still like I'm already kind of like, ooh, what's gonna happen here? Is this where it's decided? I don't think it is, but I mean, like, the possibilities. Okay, running one of the Longbeards back for more protection.
If I had to guess, I would say that this game might very well go into overtime as well. The dwarves don't look like they're going to be doing a 2-to-1 grind here, and with the dwarves in possession for the second half, that looks a whole lot like a 1-1 score going into overtime. Now, the coaches know this as well, so the second half they will be watching their rerolls very closely.
And also, I mean, this is kind of where the fact that they've already played 2 games comes in. I'm wondering if Mallak has like the psychological advantage, because of course Knockoff was in this. They've been in. Oh, well, that's gonna get
the Rat Ogre goes down. Oh, just
and
about hurt. So he's
okay, yeah, so
definitely appoing. But still, that is a big hit right there. A 12 and then an 11. That would take down anything.
Whew. Well, that's Knockoff can't help to. He's going to be pleased with that. The thing I was going to say, like, if this actually ends up, this first half ends up 1-0, it does mean the dwarves needs to score on turn 16. We've seen Mallak win the game before this with the help of a 1-turn touchdown, especially. I mean, at this point, it's turn 6 for the dwarves. There's nothing in the injury box. The Rat Ogre, that was the first injury. They want to have more, at least some knockouts, and it's starting to look like the first game here, where Mallak managed to keep most of his rats in for most of the game, and it did not do any favors for the Dwarves.
Well, I think the first game he also managed for a large part by not getting his rats killed at all. So I do think that the Skaven have been surviving above average, let's say.
Definitely.
But yes, in this case, the Dwarves are really, really pressured. I think he'll try to score, but his main priority will just be keeping the ball safe. Unless the rats go so focused on defense that they don't have a cKnooring threat, and that would mean the Dwarves can just go all out on offense.
And I think the only reliable scoring threat that the Dwarves actually have at this point going into their turn 7 is Voram Cold Filter, the runner in the middle of the pitch here. He's currently based by two line rats, and he can actually get blocked down this turn if... and it seems like that's happening. Yep.
And down he goes.
Yep. Mallak realizing what's going on, making sure that the runner is not going anywhere. Meaning it's gonna be rough for the Dwarves to score this.
Yes. The Blitzer Kolg Beerbelly does not look like he's in the best possible spot to take over the position of receiver for this desperate Dwarven play.
And that's of course, the Blitzer with the Mighty Blow here in the middle, for those of you that can't see everything. It's okay, and there's a line rat being annoying here, just being like, hey, I'm here, don't mind me. See if we get to see this storm around and dodge out. We do.
Just in case you haven't given up already, don't mind me, I'm just going to get in your way as well.
Yeah. Now this, I can't really see how the Dwarves would score in this position, even though they have 2 turns. So it'll be interesting to see what Knockoff decides to do here. Maybe try and blitz one of the gut runners. He can get a 2-die with the Longbeard, for example, on Finnich.
I think they have to blitz Weakit, the cKnooring threat here. They're not going to score. They know this. If Weakit goes down, at least they end the drive, end the half on 1-0. I mean, the Longbeards that are there are like theoretically unable to score. If they make 2 GFIs and a dodge here, they're still not in scoring range. And that Blitzer is not getting past. So really the only thing they can accomplish here is make sure that the Skaven don't score. Well, and of course try and hurt stuff.
If the runner stays put, then, well, actually, I guess on Skaven's turn 7, they can run up more people in the backfield. Well, it is their turn 7.
It is their turn 7, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Not anymore though. It's back to the Dwarves. And this because the rats are in this position, I don't think it matters if they blitz the Weakit lineman here, because he can't do anything on his own. And if the Dwarves keep the ball back here, then none of the other rats can actually reach it.
True, they could try something risky. So the Troll Slayer is theoretically able to get some distance, but there's very little for him to do there. I imagine the Dwarves are just going to mega bunker and get as safe as they can and try to hurt something good. Maybe the guard Storm Vermin, getting him out would certainly help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. Here comes the safe cage.
Now, if you make a cage here, then usually you want the 2 guard players on the opposite corners, because that way you always have a guard on the 4 blitzable spots. Supposing the Skaven make a 6+1 die, for instance, then at least you want that to be a half die because you've got your guards on opposite corners. Now he hasn't done that yet, but I guess he could still move his guards around or screen off the corners that are not guarded. But it doesn't look like that's what he's doing right now.
Oh.
Instead, he's blitzing with the Mighty Blow blitzer.
Let's see how much this hurts.
And he could make a 5+4+3+ dodge, I guess, to get past. Except he doesn't follow, so that's not the plan. Fair enough. Would be pretty desperate either way.
That is the gutter, one of the two gutter runners out. Only KO though, so well, it's the dwarf that's going to end this half. So unless they score, which they're not, there's only going to be one attempt to get the KO back. Of course, it's a 4+, so 50-50 to get one of the gut runners back. Yeah, not much happening here.
The other guard's in place, so even the one die is no longer doable here. I'm a bit surprised he didn't move him first, but it's fine. The dwarves are in a solid spot to at least keep their 1-0 disadvantage into and limit it to a 1-0, because obviously suffering another touchdown here would be disastrous for them.
Okay, so the Mallak has decided to try and get rid of the Mighty Blow piece. This has worked well for him in the past, in that he managed to get rid of the Mighty Blow Troll Slayer last game. He does have one more block, but it's not doing anything for him. So pushing.
If he had knocked him down, I could even see a foul here, because he's still got 12 players. He's going into the second half with 12 players, and if he gets a trade where the Fowler goes out and the Mighty Blow goes out, that puts him at a huge advantage for second half. So if this had been a knockdown, I would have expected a foul as well.
This is slightly unfortunate for Mallak here, because of course there's a Longbeard with guard just behind this Mighty Blow blitzer. So unless that piece is based, then the dwarves are going to get at least one extra block in before the end of the half. Everyone around here slightly. But yeah, in the end, just looking at the state of the game right now, I mean, Mallak still has to be.
He's also giving up a surf here on the line rat.
That's
not too relevant because of 12 players, but I do expect that we will see a surf plus a Mighty Blow hit in the dwarves' last turn here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, hang on, does he have enough assists that he can?
It's a 2-die.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Mallak can save the follow up, or make the follow up block here slightly more difficult. And if he really wanted to, he could add some assists on the second. So it's a frenzy trap. It's still it's definitely still worth it though, I think.
Yeah, he can get 2 assists on the 2 sideline and near sideline squares, which means that the follow-up is still a 2-die, and he doesn't have to worry about the repercussions because the rats have already had their last turn, even though they're running out the clock right now. I guess he could move the sidestepper to cover.
Oh no!
Yeah, that works. That's
smart.
Yeah, that works. He doesn't have to put up a defense anyway.
No. The thing I wanted to say was before, because we are after these 2 turns, we of course are going to get some relief, and Lewpac and VG are going to come back in and cast the second half. The alcohol hogs, they have their turn 8. There's probably some blocks and a blitz to do, but other than that, Mallak ending the first half 1-0. No serious injuries. Using the Apo, but that's to be expected in a playoff game. He has to be pleased with this.
This is as close to an ideal result as he can get. I mean, it's not a stall, but apparently it wasn't necessary. The dwarves have to be pretty pissed at this right now. This is their nightmare almost, because they're still faced with the potential of a one-turn touchdown on turn 16. So even if they manage to stall, if they manage to score turn 16, they're not safe. So obviously that's going to be their focus. They're going to try and stall it out and try to make a turn 16 score, but that still puts them at risk, which is a very uncomfortable position to be in, especially between the frenzy on the Rat Ogre and the sidestep on the Gutter Runner. It is very, very hard to actively defend against a one-turner here. So I also imagine that Mallak will be holding at least one reroll back throughout his defense for that one turn on turn 16.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Mike has decided to go for this poor line rat. Unfortunately, armor value 7, it's unbeatable. It's the best armor you can have. And let's see. Where's the vanity pass gonna come? Because there needs to be a vanity pass.
I'm not sure why he's moving all these players, because the Skaven don't have a turn, but I guess that might be the fatigue part.
It could. Yeah. Or he's Krendoring it, which I don't think he is. Which is essentially when you forgot you're on your last turn. But even then, he wouldn't move like this. Oh, here comes the vanity pass. And it's good. Look at these passing dwarves.
Another 6 on the pass, not that he needed it this time. Alright, this was great. Thank you, cKnoor, and
thank you,
I'll
Sage.
see you all again later.
Let's get Lewpac and VG in here.
Welcome back, Lewpac and VG.
Yeah, look at that. Skaven team is escaping injury, as it were. Well, the difference, though, is that he won't have his KO'd Gutter Runner back, and so he'll just be working with his one. But the most dangerous one, though, sidestep Gutter Runner. That he does. So, Dwarven team, again, his grind, Blood Bowl 2 football, but it's going to be good here. And if he can get some injuries here, then he should go into overtime with a good advantage. Even if he doesn't get the reception, if you reduce down the offense down to just a few rats, then they will have a very difficult time scoring. That is true, but that is true, except only one Gutter Runner at the moment, so it will be a little bit more difficult than normal. Yeah. And if I was the Dwarf team, I would have my sights aimed on his face and on his tail, just for a good measure. And look at that nice deep kick into the backfield. And so the Skaven will love seeing that again. At least it's in range this time, though. First half is, looking pretty good for Skaven. Dwarf team did force a score early, but no problem, though, huh?
For those little fat buggers, 3 turns is a little bit much of an ask, and 2 turns is more or less impossible. Mainly because
Alright, Lewpac,
the faster ones
I'm just
will
going to
leave
interrupt you here. You are now live. You weren't live before because you were still muted. So welcome back to the stream.
Oh, who the hell was
Oh, hey!
manually muted by the admins. Right. Poor old VG's been talking to himself. I said he's been going.
talking to myself.
I said he's been going mad, and we now have live proof. But yeah, thank you. What a great.
I've lost my mind because I have no suit on.
What a great first half for the Rats. As Sage said, almost an ideal result. He would have wanted to stall for longer, but it didn't matter in the end. But still having 11 is fantastic. No wizard trickery this game. Here comes the mighty blow. Oh,
there
dear.
we go. He needs these
So
injuries.
That's the first one.
That's the first one, and he needs many more afterwards. Boy,
Yeah.
wouldn't he really love to have his Troll Slayer with Mighty Blow back? God.
Well, as long as he's got one mighty blow, because the Skaven aren't going to give up too many blocks. So what the dwarf needs to do is blitz with his mighty blow every time.
Yeah, pretty much. Get those armor value 7 down, and then win the game. So in other news, I believe the Lizard team has already capped off the Orc team.
Yep, I don't think we're talking spoilers here because quite a few people in chat want to watch the game after, so we'll keep that. No game spoilers, no Game of Thrones spoilers because I'm going to watch that after. My wife came into the room while I was on a break and said, "Oh my God, this episode's amazing." I was like, unless you want to be single mum, you stop right there.
I see.
But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go watch it up here. See, if the Skaven had more gutter runners in a situation like this, they'd be quite tempted to sort of loop round the dwarfs and split them in half, because that's very effective against slower teams. But he can't do it with one gutter runner. In fact, I think he's likely to spend the entire half protecting his gutter runner because he needs it for the one turner.
He definitely does, and this game is pretty much going to be guaranteed to go into overtime unless the Dwarven team thinks, "Oh, I'm just going to score it right here, right now." But he should just grind him down, go into overtime, and then
dwarfs are not scoring anything but turn 16 if they can avoid it. But they probably don't. They actually might be worried about getting into a situation like we had before.
That would be kind of fun to see. Although I'm sure that Knockoff does not want to get into that type of situation again.
A turn 16 one-turner would be a great way for Mallak to win it. I'd love to see Skaven go all the way. I'd love it if a finesse team, despite everyone's thoughts about the best of 3 format favouring the higher armour teams, I'd love it if a Skaven team went all the way.
Yeah, you're right.
Riding that armour 7.
Yeah, and that's precisely why we did see so many Dwarven teams, just because of that best of 3 at the end, and plus they're really good at the beginning. It really makes sense that the Dwarven teams would probably do better.
I think what happened with a lot of people, though, a lot of people who weren't experienced with dwarfs, like, dropped their normal race in favour of dwarfs.
Yeah, and I think they just didn't realize that it is a lot more tougher team to play, even though they do have that very staunch defense, and you start with block and tackle and everything. It's just that the movement is such a low movement allowance for everyone. It's just, you really need to make sure that you're doing very well with the positioning. Otherwise, you'll see what a lot of coaches have seen in this tournament. Just get out-positioned, out-maneuvered, and then get scored on.
Here we go. The Rat Ogre's back in business, but no damage this time, unfortunately. God, he'd love to have a pair of claws. So, showing absolutely no fear, old Mallak here. He's just... His lone gutter runner is going
all in.
Wander into enemy territory.
I believe right there, that really signals that the Skaven team just wants to go all in, and if there's any nuffling, then his gutter runner will be in really good position to take advantage. But
what do you do with one gutter runner? Oh, his only option is 2 dice uphill, which is...
I'm a little bit baffled by that. Yeah, I think he shouldn't have done that, because normally you go in with 2, 3 gutter runners, not just one.
Yeah, then you've got the option to dodge them all for the assists.
Yeah.
And bish bash boss. So we're going to see a dwarf cage here.
Right. Both slayers, runners abound with a couple of long beards in tow. No problem. I see Skaven just putting up his huge screen in the front. I like to call it the net. That's just what I've been calling it. The net to catch the cage.
I just call it the elf screen. The lines of two square gaps between them.
Yeah.
Slow teams have a really hard time dealing with it because it just halts their progress.
Especially, it's a really good one.
It's not so bad when you're a slow team that has a load of strength 4, because then you can actually stop the counter blocks. But when you're strength 3, it's actually annoying because they can block you back. If you're playing as orcs, you block out one set of the line and then you just wedge black orcs in all the gaps.
Yeah.
and force them to fall back. With Dwarfs, especially against Skaven with 2 guards, you're just going to get pushed back every time you do that. And the more guys you have on the floor, the less distance you're going to make.
Yeah, and that's the difference here, because he's playing against a Skaven team. He went with a couple of Mighty Blow instead of getting a guard like you normally do for Longbeard. Yeah, you do it for the Troll Slayer, but not normally you'd see that. You want to see guard built up first and then maybe go for a Mighty Blow here and there. That's the normal for the Dwarven teams.
Yeah, I think I like to have a Mighty Blow quite early though, because as long as you've got one for blitzing with all the time, the earlier you get it, the faster he develops as well.
Oh yeah, definitely agreed there. But today, definitely the Mighty Blow is gonna really come in handy. And
yeah, well,
didn't get that Storm Vermin.
It really showed in the difference in game 1 when no Skaven were injured. I think a lot of that was actually luck as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Did he have the Mighty Blow yet?
No,
yeah,
no, he got the Mighty Blow on the Troll Slayer after game 1.
Right.
Then game 2, that Troll Slayer was injured twice, including a miss next game. And then game 3, he obviously picked it up on the Blitzer to replace the Troll Slayer.
Right.
So if he goes through to the finals, he will have 2 Mighty Blow, but it's not such a tool against Armor 9, Orcs, or Lizards.
Yeah, that's going to really come in handy still, and that's kind of why we thought coming into this games that, oh yeah, he's going to definitely level up the Mighty Blows and not just get guards for Longbeards and just play normal Dwarf Blood Bowl.
I think with all the Dwarf mirrors, the guard was more important, but then obviously after game 1, he realised he actually needed to pick up some Mighty Blow to do some damage. Wow, look at that.
Oh no, look at that. And he actually thought long and hard about that. Like, he didn't do it instantly. He thought, boy, should I re-roll this? And he did, and he got nuffled. But not a huge one, no big injury, but wow.
He re-rolled the block because he had block and he ended up with double. He basically gave a free Mighty Blow hit on his guard Storm Vermin.
Pretty much, and luckily nothing happened, but still. You know, one of the greatest adage in Blood Bowl is you never really want to re-roll a safe roll, a quote-unquote safe roll, because of these reasons right here. I mean,
a non-turnover roll on the final drive before overtime. I don't think you re-roll that. That was greedy. It wasn't like he was hitting. If he was hitting him with a claw pommer, you know, it's a different thing. That becomes a very valuable block.
Right.
But here we're just going to see the grind.
Yeah. And luckily, again, Storm Vermin stays up. Wow, that's really nice for him, because it could have really went badly for the Storm Vermin.
I think Mallak just needs to reform his defense now, because once again we know Knockoff is not going to let him snipe the ball. Anyway, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
Dwarven team just doesn't need to. Just needs to grind in there, get this touchdown, and go into overtime. I mean, that's the plan. He's got to do that.
He needs to get his guys back and then protect. Especially this gutter runner. This gutter runner is more important than ever now. Interesting that he plays no thrower as well. Thrower adds an interesting dynamic to the Skaven. Like, quite often the gutter runners do everything the thrower does better. But when you're trying to conserve rerolls, you know, sure hands is slightly better than the Agi 4 pickup. He's actually about to push. Is he about to push a guy onto the ball? No, he could have potentially pushed a guy onto the ball.
Oh yeah, he actually does have that ability, but
he did. He would have needed some guys, around there, and he could have blitzed the ball.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, definitely the throw would have been nice to be a little bit more versatile in the offense. But given that it was single eliminations, I think that he had some losses along the way and couldn't get a thrower probably. I mean, I think the first thing you try to do is you get your gutter runners going, and then, especially since you didn't begin with a thrower, to just get
it's a bit late to have it, but
it is a bit late.
Oh wow, another double skulls.
My goodness!
And he can't re-roll that because of the loner.
Oh no! And there we go. The dwarf team. You know, in the first game it was all Skaven, and then now it looks like it's just more and more on the side of the dwarf doesn't it seem like that? Like whenever you're playing
Dwarves,
games, it's just...
yeah, Dwarves rolled a lot of skulls in game 1.
Oh yeah, they sure did. And it seems like Nuffle's paying them back. Like, okay, guys, we're sorry for game 1.
But remember, this isn't Knockoff playing to win. This is Knockoff trying to score to stay in the game. So no matter how bad this half goes for Mallak, the worst he's going to be is 1-1 with a chance at a one-turner. Obviously, the mighty blow could be a problem.
There we go, more breaks, but luckily no problem.
I mean, really, a potential option would be just hide all your Skaven in a corner. let them end turn till turn 16 and then try for your one-turner, because it essentially is laying out the half.
At the same time, if you could, like, given his success at the defense.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I think he's got riled up. He knows what he's done so far, and he thinks he can carry on punishing, which he may be able to.
Maybe. Looks like he's going to be going along the right side there. You know, and this is the problem with playing a little bit off of the cage right there. He's able to just get his guys in there and then, you know, move his cage along where he pleases, and none of them are really tied up at the moment. So he's able to re-cage up again and again.
Yeah, and they're not, with the Rat Ogre the wrong side of the pitch, they're not going to, they need their Rat Ogre to put the pressure on the cage. That's what he's there for. They need that strength.
That is exactly what he's there for, and he's lying down on the far left.
See, if he hadn't double skulled, he would have been up on his feet and 2 squares to the right, more than likely.
Fair enough. Yeah, he did roll those skulls, or the both down dice. Now the Skaven has to drop back.
Quite a quick half. Again, both players have taken their turns pretty quick. Right, the Rat Ogre got up, which is nice.
Oh man, got that 6. Good time for the 6.
Well, it'd be an absolute nightmare if he stayed on the floor any longer. So now the guard is in play.
Yeah, so he should be able to get some 2-die blocks along the line, take those guys out in the center. But who's going to protect the cage? Who's gonna stop the cage?
Well, exactly.
Look, the gutter runner's on the fly still at the 10-yard line. You notice that?
Well, and he's not doing anything without dodging backwards. So it's all 3+ dodges, the disadvantage of Skaven and their agility 3.
That's actually a good idea. Not only is he putting the gutter runner in range for the touchdown, but he's keeping him out of harm's way. So maybe that was the plan when he moved him out there in the first place.
I think he would have used him if he hadn't turned over twice. I think the turnovers happened before he got the chance to move him. I mean, it's nice to have him up there, but who's going to get the ball to him?
You know, okay. I thought that was just next level, you know. I don't know.
No, that'll be the guy that has to recover the ball.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you have no thrower, so you need the gutter runner to go get the ball for you. Go get it, boy.
I don't think he'll want... I mean, if he loses the toss in overtime, it's kind of cruel, isn't it? Because then the Dwarfs will just grind him down again.
Yeah.
So he's going to push this guy onto the Rat Ogre. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's really nice right there.
So he's got a few more blocks to make potentially, but there's no one in the way of the cage.
Exactly.
And there's, I count 5 Dwarfs completely unmarked.
It's just... What's this? He's going to have to make some dodges, I guess, but only have one rat back there? It's going to be weird.
Well, I think I would have blitzed that line rat that just blocked. I would have blitzed him so I could at least bring him over.
Bring him over, yeah.
You know, just something.
Well, it appears that he may be doing what you are kind of suggesting there. Just let him have the touchdown. Ooh.
Little GFI. He was going to put his...
Oh, no.
He's going to put his... And he's going to put him on a tackler, though.
Yeah, he sure is. And also in position to maybe even get surfed out, actually, if he's not too
No,
careful.
He's got sidestep.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, he's got sidestep.
Nah, he wanted that knockdown there to mark the ball.
But it's only going to be a push, and so...
I think he'll try and make this 3+ dodge rather than... rather than block. Nope, he will block and he will get knocked down. There
Wow. Yeah, so it's pretty much what you say.
quicker.
He might as well just skitter his Skaven there to the corner and then just watch the Dwarves just wait it out to turn 16 and then let him score.
Yeah, I mean, he would achieve the same thing as what's about to happen, but he wouldn't have got his guys beaten up.
Right.
Still, if he gets both his KOs back, currently he would be fielding a full team. Which is
true.
Still impressive. And he only needs like 6 guys really for the one turner. He really does want both gutter runners though, because he needs one gutter runner to run the ball to the other. And pass it if necessary. Yeah, which is where the thrower would have come in handy.
Yeah. Again, single eliminations and death injuries abound. I mean, he had 3 gutter runners at the second game, so and the first game with the loner.
He's got the move busted one coming back if he gets to the final, and I think he has to keep him simply because he's already developed to wrestle. I mean, movement 8 versus movement 9 still isn't terrible. That's still very fast.
That is right. Yeah.
Movement 8 is very fast.
And plus, with the wrestle, you're pretty much signifying that he is going to be the guy that jumps into cages and do all the terrible, dirty things that the other gutter runners aren't going to do. There we go. Yeah, and
he's not going to be able to try anything risky now, because in his mind he wants to end this on turn 16 with the one turner now, so he has to save 1 reroll for that. But if the one turner fails and it goes to overtime, then he's going to need a reroll for that at some point.
Wow, so Skaven is just going to allow this touchdown, huh?
Yeah,
he's going to put up defense of any sort?
No, I think he's just going to hit the people he can hit. Huh? Can he surf the Longbeard on the top right? I believe he can.
Get a whole bunch of combinations.
It's quite tricky. I think it requires too many people actually. 2 red dice, so he's going to get a free hit from the Rat Ogre. He won't reroll that. He doesn't need to reroll that.
He does have 4 rerolls, so he could have done it.
But he doesn't need to. He doesn't
need to.
He doesn't give up too much there.
Overtime period too, so I guess he's saving it.
Yeah, worst case scenario, like he gets injured, he's down 1 player. But that's quite unlikely even with Mighty Blow.
Just KO, but
well, that's still good.
That's still a good one.
There's no subs bench for the old Dwarves today.
He's thinking about it. He's really thinking about it.
He is. I think he. Well, I thought he would. I thought he would Apo that.
Wow. Okay.
I really did. Wow! Look at that. He was one mighty blow there off of an injury.
Sure was.
Rolled a 9.
Very close. I think actually that's smart. Still, he's a 0 SPP. Sure, he's got 10 guys, but you got to figure 50-50 chance, right, of the KOs coming back, and so he still should be okay in the numbers.
But you want 5 tacklers spread along the back to stop the one turner. You don't want to let him use his dodge rerolls for free.
Oh yeah. Here comes another. And this is the one he really wants to.
So look, it looks like they really are trying to put some pressure on the ball, but I just don't see a way in. Even if he makes every single block a knockdown.
I think at this point he's just shadow boxing. Like if he can get in, good. If not, he's not committing too hard for it.
The only thing he has got going for him is the Dwarf still needs to stall for 2 more turns. So if he can actually put some good pressure on,
that's true.
It might get quite awkward.
Because if he can,
and the
touchdown.
Rat Ogre's getting into a good spot, or he was until he.
And wouldn't he love to have Juggernaut right about now?
No, he didn't. It was only a block. Juggernaut only works on a blitz.
Yeah, that's right. It only goes on a blitz. But wow, that's another one. The Rat Ogre has been doing absolutely zippo for the last couple of games. I mean, yeah, he's got some big injuries off, but it just feels like ever since overtime of last game, it just hasn't really done as much.
Yeah, I think Mallak's been solid for the first 2 games and the first half of this game. I don't think he's played bad. And
No.
this is kind of how you expect the Dwarf offensive half to go. This is normal.
Oh yeah. I'm just talking about the Rat Ogre itself. He has done bad.
Oh the rat ogre's. Well, he's not. He's just been out of position, and once a wild animal is down on the floor and out of position, it's very hard to recover. You have to keep him near the ball to keep him relevant.
Yeah, and keep blitzing.
Oh, and it's a pow on his last gutter runner.
Yeah,
this could be huge.
We'll see.
It's a KO.
It's a KO, which is great. Again, 50-50 chance.
And he's used his Apo, hasn't he, on the Rat Ogre?
Yeah. So
he needs at least one of those gutter runners to come back, or we're going to overtime.
Well, if he goes into overtime, he needs. Wouldn't it be terrible if he just get the line rat back?
Oh God.
That would just be horrible.
So the Dwarfs are going to have a merry old time here, beating up more rats. Oh, stun. Now the armor goes to paper.
Go. And at the most opportune time for the Dwarf team. Neither those.
Yeah, it comes good. I don't know how he's going to protect here. He might just sort of stay tight on the right-hand side, because that little line rat weak hit is actually in quite an annoying spot. He prevents a proper cage, but they don't want to give up too much ground.
Yeah, I think the best thing is just time up to both ways, just like he is there, and just run him down.
Well,
a little bit, yeah.
I disagree, because that's a 3+ into a 1 die there.
No, yeah, I understand. That is definitely going to be an opening for him, and all he needs to do is just 3+ dodge, and then
a lucky bounce, lucky pass.
Yeah.
And
just be glad that the gutter runner's not around anymore to really capitalize and turn it around for a touchdown.
Well, the Dwarfs have shown us you just need to roll 6s on your pass, and then you're fine.
Oh, sixes come no problem.
So he does the YOLO dodge with number 7, hits the ball out. The ball goes loose into 1 tackle zone, and then number 11 picks it up, lobs it to the Storm Vermin. Game over. Probably not though. In reality, probably not.
Storm Vermin wins it at the last moment. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, that's again the beauty of Blood Bowl, and that's really why we play this game. Yeah, it sucks being on the receiving end, but you're never out of it, no matter how badly it looks throughout the whole game, or even skill-wise as well. It's just maddenly.
You got to roll some dice at the end of the day. There's just no defense here, is there at all?
It looks like he dropped the Storm Vermin back, as if he.
He is gonna do my play though. He loves it.
He will, yeah.
He only gets push, and he can't re-roll that. I don't think, because even if he knocks him down,
he can't.
He doesn't. I think if he was going to do that play, he should have waited with the movement of some of the guys, just in case he got real lucky. Oh dear,
I think though, it was more important to kind of force this touchdown, because now it's putting the Dwarf in an uncomfortable position. Now, what does he do? Does he? Oh, actually, he has a surf.
Well, this line rat's going to be visiting the crowd very shortly. He's got a surf with anyone.
The human boots are waiting.
Quad skulls, though? It could always be the quad skulls.
Quad skulls. It's going to be really interesting. Oh, okay,
no surf. Saved by the bell.
Saved by the boat down, but that should be good enough. He should be able to put his Dwarf in great position at the 1 yard line, the 2 yard line, is it?
Now, he's going to stick. He's going to stick to the right here, I think. Yeah, shame. His other runner is 1 SPP off leveling. Kind of would like him to level.
Kind of a shame, but
you don't do any silly business.
No, yeah, you don't do any silliness
at this point. But
if you were up, 2-0, yeah, hand it off to him. But he's down 1-0.
But what I mean is, I might have liked to see him like get the ball on that guy earlier in the drive, like plan that ahead.
Yeah.
He's also got a blitzer on 4 SPP that I'm sure he'd love to level. Although he only has to do an injury and then it's the end of it.
I think at this point you just be happy to grab that touchdown.
Well, yeah, it's only his second touchdown in the entire series, isn't it?
It sure is, actually. Yeah, he was skunked the first game, and then miracle touchdown at the
saying that, Mallak's only scored 2 touchdowns, which is quite a few for Skaven.
Yeah, but he really didn't play a quick Skaven offense. He played it like a normal.
He played it perfectly to grind out the dwarf turns.
Right.
Like the Agi teams use rerolls as their currency. Time is the currency of the dwarfs.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, they don't do very well.
Yeah, and I can see why everybody was saying, "Oh, I don't want to have a dwarf on dwarf final," but thankfully that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. We might not even have a dwarf in the final, but
yeah, we might not, but
we shall see. Everything is going to come down to these KO rolls. Because he has move 7 with 1 frenzy. He could, in theory, do a 1-turner, but it's very unlikely.
He'd have to get everything.
This is why I think he should have just cowered in the corner. You know, surrounded his remaining gutter runner with line rats.
Right.
Protection. Operation get behind the line rats. Just hide for dear life.
I don't listen to hip hop. Yeah.
I'm glad you got the reference there. South Park movie.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, I think he's looking to blitz the rat ogre here with his mighty blow before he runs it in. I'd love to see quad skulls. I'd love to see it.
You know,
I'd love to see him lose the game on quad skulls.
This is the reason why we don't go hitting, guys. You could get skulls on the hit.
If he gets quad skulls on this, and that's the end of his World Cup. He's got it as well. Damn.
Oh.
Mighty blows the rat ogre. I guess it was worth a pop at the rat ogre. It's very unlikely. 1 in 1,296 chance of him failing that. So the dwarfs will run in the touchdown to make the score 1-1. And the big story here in this half is going to be the KOs for the Skaven side. They'll need at least one of their gutter runners back if they want to do a 1-turn touchdown. They could definitely do with both of them back though.
And look at that. It was Black Liver that scored. So, oh, look at that. All KO'd for the Skaven team comes back.
Wake me up before you go. We've got it. We've got it going on now, boys. We've got it going on. We're going to have to see the Mallak magic. So,
that's amazing.
Knockoff will have a setup. He will have a predetermined setup for stopping the 1-turner. He already knows what it is. He's rehearsed it a lot, but
has he now?
Oh, of course he has. You don't go into a $1,000 match without a bit of preparation, do you?
Oh no, yeah, you definitely don't. I remember when I was practicing my 1-turner, and I played so many games against myself just to get my 1-turner down for Dark Elves.
And what does Mallak have in his favour? He has 2 guard pieces, so it's actually surprisingly hard for the dwarfs to prevent anything happening here.
That is going to be difficult. At least he has a chance to win it on round 16 instead of trying to go to overtime here.
I'm not sure I like this setup as well, because I almost feel like the guard runner could be pushed through the middle of it if they're clever.
Oh yeah, I don't like that setup at all either.
Like if you think the gutter runner could actually slip into the middle and then have a nice 2+ dodge. Sure, he'd have a tackler on him, but it's still a 2+ dodge. It's not that bad.
Oh, he's actually going to put his guard Longbeard in the back.
I feel like Knockoff suddenly second guessing himself. He had something in mind, and now he's second guessing himself and keeps moving people around.
Yeah, this is one thing that I was telling some coaches here whenever they come talk to me. It's just, just be a little bit more decisive and just go with your guts, because in the end, if you fail, at least you played your game. Don't overthink it. Don't just say to yourself, oh, this was the correct move, this is the bad move. No, just play your game. That way, no regrets.
Okay, guys, we might have to quickly jump out of the live game feed so that they can validate the other match that's going on so that their match 2 can go. Hopefully we won't drop out at a crucial moment. But if we do, we'll keep talking and keep you guys informed.
Oh, okay.
So the Skaven have got their setup. To me, it looks like 2 guards in the middle, followed by a sideways blitz. No, because he's going to need that gap. Okay, no, that's fine. So Storm Vermin into that. Okay.
So we're going to wait for the turn 16 to go. See if the one-turner is going to be a reality.
This is what Skaven is all about, isn't it? Under pressure, one-turner.
This is the reason why you play Skaven right here. This is their time. You know, this is why you see Skaven.
We're not gonna leave before the one-turn attempt. Don't worry, guys. We're not gonna we're not gonna play you like that. That's not cool.
Right. We're gonna see if this is a, and then we're gonna go and validate. Oh man, and look at that. He got all of his KO'd Skaven back from the bench there.
So do you know what? The Skaven are still fielding a full team for the next half now, unless anything disastrous happens that they fall over or whatever and die. So 11 men of Skaven against 11 men of Dwarves for overtime if the one-turner fails.
You know, truthfully, it doesn't really change too much. It's just that at least the Skaven will have a better defense if the Dwarf team does have the ball. But again, the Dwarves should be able to grind it out. Now, I know what happened in game 2. He got stopped a little bit, miracle touchdown, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, that shouldn't have happened. The Dwarf team should have been able to grind it through and make the touchdown, you know? Especially against the armor value 7 and without really having that many weapons for this Skaven team.
But here we are.
Here we are, yeah.
Okay, Mallak knows what he wants to do. Interesting to do it with the rookie, not the sidestepper. Actually, doing it with the sidestepper gives you more options. But
yeah, he should have done it with the sidestepper.
The only issue he's got is if he goes to overtime, he's going to be playing, because he's going to use a reroll for this one-turn attempt. He either wins now or it goes to overtime and he's used a reroll. Unless he fails like a dodge or something.
Oh, nice high kick even.
High kick is very nice, and
that
the
is
distance.
nice.
The distance on the kick is nice as well.
Oh, that's perfect for a one-turn touchdown.
He
perfect.
doesn't catch it, but that's not a big deal. That gets one of his ones out the way.
That gets the one out the way. That's how I feel about it, you know?
Running through those dice. I think that 6 and 5 could have come at a better time. So he needs a push to start this off. He does not get it, so he's going to burn his reroll straight away.
He's going to have to do the reroll. And
double 1 in 9s.
And
that is it. Oh,
that's it.
My word.
That's it. So
what an anti-climax. There's the push.
Moderators, you can cut away and validate the match.
What an anti-climax to that turn 16.
Wow.
Still, there's still overtime, and it still comes down to a coin flip as to who gets the ball. It's all ogre now, boys.
Well, he'll just knock down, hopefully get an injury. Get the blitz with the Rat Ogre. I think he's trying to pry his way towards the Troll Slayer with that armor value 8. No, but he's not going to do it. Actually, he already blitzed with the Storm Vermin. Never mind.
He failed the pick.
He failed the pickup anyways.
Oh my god, you got to feel for Mallak. He's made all the right moves, and it's ended like this. But he's got a full squad. Let's see.
Full squad, yeah.
Let's see what the coin decides.
Oh man. Let's see. And the dwarves.
The dwarfs choose to receive.
Oh, that's a pain.
Wow.
So yeah, we're gonna cut away. Oh man. Dwarves are gonna ground and pound the Skaven into submission. Alright, so who do you think is gonna take it, guys?
I think Knockoff's gonna take it now.
Yeah, before the overtime toss, it was really 50-50, but the overtime toss is just such a crucial...
With one reroll, the Skaven can't really make anything happen. They're going to get one shot. They're going to get one shot of the ball, realistically. And that's if Knockoff chooses to give them one.
It's...
well, they have kick. Blitzes happen.
Blitzes do happen. It seems like one of those cases where Mallak... There's been a lot of 50-50s, and the last few, Mallak's has just lost them.
No, that's true.
But I mean, happens. It's still like I feel like we're feeling, I guess, slightly defeatist for no apparent reason, because these are two good coaches, and I feel like both of them are deserving to go to the finals. They've played really well so far, and it's pretty amazing that it's down to one final overtime. I think
it's kind of unfair that the Dwarves had won both overtimes.
Yes.
So I think in a best of 3 format, it should go home team overtime, because it alternates home and away between the games. And
oh no, Alcohols get another reroll.
Yeah, Dwarves are going to get another reroll.
Yeah, well, just to add on.
Wow.
And
so that sucks.
That is a deep kick, though, which we'll see what that does. We are getting back into the game. Maybe we're already back in the game. We'll see. Oh yes, we are.
But the kickoff really helped out the Dwarves. Actually, it did not really help them, but it helped them out a lot, because even if the Dwarves now go into extra kicks, he has a tremendous advantage going into the kicks.
He automatically rolls a 6 on the kicking.
Pretty much, yeah.
At the minimum. So basically, if he rolls a 2 or better, if he rolls a 3 or more, the Skaven can't win. So Mallak, Knockoff, in fairness, could just get the ball, put it in a cube, and press end turn. And
he could just
almost be guaranteed. Almost be guaranteed the win.
Look at that.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
So does it work like that? If Mallak used his reroll, would it mean that Mallak physically couldn't win the coin flip at the end?
Yeah, at the
yes,
end here, he
that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is just the d6 with the plus, so it is impossible.
So Knockoff would have an auto 6, and if Mallak rolled a 6 in return, they would just re-roll until Knockoff won.
That's exactly how it works, yes. Personally, I've never been a fan of these penalty shootout rules. I always feel like if you're kicking on overtime and you manage to defend for 8 turns without allowing a score, then you should just win the game, because you've had a very successful winning half, basically.
Or you should get a +2 on your roll or something.
I mean, it's always one of those cases where, like, it never feels good to end a long game with a die roll, regardless of the situation.
Well, Blood Bowl is one long game of die rolls.
Yeah, but it's one long game of a lot of die rolls. So, and if it's the final die roll inside the game, everyone's kind of on board with what's going on. But when it kind of arbitrarily moves out of this is a GFI or this is a dodge to win, I mean, the game has to end somehow. It's what we have currently.
To me, it's really more about status quo, because the way I see the game, on your offensive drive, you're supposed to score 1-0. On your defensive drive, by status quo, you would suffer a counter touchdown. A 1-1 tie is a default ending to a game, and losing the toss means that you're defending for 8 turns, and the status quo is that the receiving team scores, and being able to stop that means you basically won your drive. And to go from that to even odds just seems wrong to me.
Well, I mean, to be devil's advocate here, I don't think that's necessarily true for all the races in Blood Bowl. Not all of them have the plan of going 1-0 on their drives. Or in their halves, rather. Some of them want more, and some of them are happy with... Well, no one's happy with less. But
No, I agree. I don't mean that every team plays for that, but that's kind of the default ending, right? I mean, as Wood Elves, you can easily say, well, I'm going to play for 2-0, but if you manage that, then you've done exceedingly well. If you manage just the 1-0, that's kind of the normal outcome of a drive. Whereas if you manage to stop someone, if you say you're playing the first half and you're kicking and you manage to stop the touchdown and end the first half 0-0, that's a 1 drive right there.
I think Mallak has realised his situation, by the way, judging by the move forward here.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see... I mean, Mallak, like we pointed out, Mallak has to steal this ball and he has to score.
Yeah, because stalling it is not an option at the moment with 5 rerolls. This is just not an option.
No, that said, I mean, seeing some aggressive Skaven play here actually has... I mean, there are 2 reasons for this, at least in my mind. The first one is that by being aggressive like this, he's kind of forcing Knockoff to actually, worst case scenario, actually have to use one of his rerolls, right? If he manages to do that, if he puts the Dwarves in a position where, oh shit, we rolled badly, we have to reroll these dub skulls or whatever, he's actually slowly but surely inching forwards towards possibly, maybe, very unlikely, but still at least have a shot to win it.
I'm not sure I like that, by the way. I kind of preferred the Rat Ogre marking those 2 guys in the middle, because that just looks like a big open gap in the middle to me now.
I would disagree.
To move through there, though.
I'm all for it. Like, Mallak's only course of action in my mind is to go all-out assault here. The fact that the Dwarves are free to move, in my mind, that doesn't really matter, because the fact that the Dwarves can block you doesn't matter. If you can't get to the ball before they cage up, Mallak's already lost.
Yeah. He's made his dodge
Interrupting
through
the
the
cage
tackle.
before it forms is huge. Yes, it's a big part of why you want to kick deep as Skaven and keep the Dwarves on the defensive.
There's 5 unmarked Dwarfs. I can see the cage in front of me. He just hasn't made it yet. I think he could have marked up a bit more aggressively with the Storm Vermin. Because I think you're going all or nothing here. You don't have the option.
Well, the Dwarves are not going to magically disappear all the way south, right? If they manage to cage up, you're still going to be able to reposition around them. If they don't, you've got a really, really big advantage over them. So I think this is quite the right...
I mean, there's still also... I mean, it's not apparent now, but depending on what happens with the Dwarves around the Rat Ogre, with the current players the way they're standing, you can actually chain push the Rat Ogre free for a blitz onto the cage. Kinda. Somehow. Probably. It'll be difficult. But I think it's doable. Possibly.
He doesn't even need to blitz the cage. He can block the cage after being chain pushed in there.
Yeah.
Depending on how the Dwarves manage this one turn.
Oh. Okay. Let's see what Mallak manages to do here.
The kicker needs 1 assist and can then chain push the Rat Ogre into the cage where he can block that corner off, I guess.
And here's the first corner. It's a push. That is not what he wants to see, but can be pushed into another piece. And this is another 2-die block. Probably don't want to do this yet because it's going to... Oh, this turned turned aggressive quickly, just like we wanted. So I'm assuming we'll see the oh, okay.
This frees up the line rat to assist on the block that I just suggested.
Yeah.
Which I think is what he's going to be doing next.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
Very aggressive, putting that gutter on it there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big play.
I mean,
he's really pushing right now.
Yeah, if this goes the way we think, he will actually... No! Okay. Oh, right, guard. He doesn't actually need the assist.
You're absolutely right.
No,
yeah,
I missed it. I
that's a good
missed it
point.
too. It's like we've been streaming this for 6 hours.
You think, huh? Yeah, the chat
Okay.
already pointed it out a while ago.
Yeah. So if everything goes according to plan here, or well, if everything just goes, okay, pushing back there. I was gonna say, Mallak can actually get a rat onto each corner of the cage here. Oh, okay, that's at least a stun. Yep. This is...
I think the dwarves are in big trouble right now.
Yeah, as long as... Yeah, as long as the rat ogre behaves here, which he did not.
Oh, ouch! Ouch! He's
I-
not gonna be able to deal with that. That is very dreadful. This was a very good play, and that is very unfortunate for me.
That's heartbreaking. That is one of those roles where you can just tilt from that, where everything kind of builds up to, oh, this is going the way I need it to go, and then Nuffle just says, no, it's actually not.
Yeah, especially when the situation that you're pushing for is due to making a very nice play, that just makes it all the more frustrating when the dice don't happen.
Yeah.
If you're kind of lucking your way and then they don't, it's like, okay, well, all right, I don't really deserve this. But when it's a good play that goes unrewarded, it just feels very frustrating.
Okay, that's a stun. That said, this is using up a lot of dwarves here. One troll slayer in the back that's really stuck on his own. And this is even worse when things go according to plan for the dwarfs. That said, the blitz has been used, and there are now only 2 dwarfs free.
Yeah, he doesn't have a full cage, and the only spot where he could normally get reasonably secure is right next to the rat ogre, so that's not going to work, which means he's going to be somewhat exposed here.
Okay. I don't even know what to say at this point. You just kind of have to wait and watch it unfold.
Now he might try to dodge the Mighty Blow Blitzer out. He has agility 3 after all, but that's really not ideal either. I guess we'll see a block from the runner in the back before he tries that. Just shooting for a POW on the sidestepper there.
Mm-hmm.
He's really looking for a safe way to get his ball secure, which I don't think is there.
Oh.
The POW does not happen, but that is the block I was just talking about. Sidestep doesn't matter too much here.
I mean, it does give
him... He can
him...
go where he wants, but...
Gives the gut... Oh, okay. It gives the gut runner an option to dodge out on a 2+ rather than a 3+, then a 2+. I'm surprised the gut runner went that way, though. I thought it would have gone, from our perspective, below the dwarfs, so that they had... So, if needed to, he could run up and give some assist. Oh.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
What's the plan here? Oh, he's going forward.
Oh.
That is very, very interesting. Now, he has an easy 1 die, but no person nearby. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's the bull carrier. That is definitely a reroll use.
Triple.
And the 2. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so this is currently a, let's see, it's a 3+, 1, 2, 3, so it's a 3+2+2+3+ to get a 2 die. Actually, it's not even a 3+, because the line rat here in the back isn't actually based. So yeah, so there is a...
The line rat in the back is based. The movement 6 one is based by this guard.
No, the movement 7 one further back. The sword cut on the left-hand side is the one that can run down and give an with the GFIs give an assist to stand next to Thorn Black Liver.
But to provide the assist for the 2 die, yeah, that could work. So if he had moved the gutter runner south rather than north, like you said, then he might actually have been in position for a pickup after that blitz. And the fact that he wasn't makes this quite a bit safer for the dwarves.
The wild animal has been missed here, unfortunate, but
still a play like that with only 1 reroll, 2 GFI, 3+ dodge for a 2 die. That's gonna make him sweat a little.
Of course.
The last reroll would really, really hurt to lose that here. And his gutters are still not really in position.
It's one of those cases where you're like, okay, Nuffle, you've been mean enough. Give me this. Let me get the 2 GFI, the 3+, and the POW. Because if Mallak actually manages to knock down this runner, it's gonna be difficult for the dwarves to pick the ball up if the runner here in front is stunned or anything like that.
Or even just based.
Yeah. Then again, they don't really need to score. Mallak, desperate. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Come on,
see how it goes. A 6 and another 6.
GFIs are the 6s.
Don't waste the 6s on
now
those.
The dodge. And now the dodge. Let's see it. Let's see. Now the dwarves still do have a stronger position here.
Yep.
Between the stunned kicker and the prone.
Oh, and the dodge is good.
The dodge is good. And it's a
reroll into
a POW. All right, the ball is on the ground. The Skaven are in their element, so he's pushing him towards the end zone, away from the other dwarves. Not a stun, which is very helpful to the dwarves, of course. Now he doesn't really have anyone else to do the pickup, but I think he's gonna want to cover that dwarf to keep him from getting out of there, because otherwise the dwarf is still not. The runner is still able to do a 3+ dodge. So if he goes.
Okay, yeah, this is really tricky at this point, trying to figure out where to stand, what to do.
I would have expected him to prevent the dwarf runner from making a 3+ dodge out. If he had been on the opposite side and 1 square away, then he would both have a tackle zone on the ball and make it harder for the runner to get out.
Yeah, but if he was standing below, then surely the guard... Well, actually, the guard Longbeard would have to do a GFI to give an assist on both. Okay, so Gutter Runner is on the move up top. Let's see where the Gutter Runner runs. He might, he's going to run back here. And, scoring threat.
I suspect he's more of a pickup threat at this moment. But that'll do for the Skaven. I don't expect them to make a 3+3+ passing play with no reroll here. They're going to want to get that ball into an agility forehand.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
The gutter goes down all the way in the backfield, but not out. So he's also still in a position where he might score. And at least Mallak still has 2 gutter runners. Mm-hmm. In fact, he still has 11 players, which is pretty sweet for Skaven approaching turn 20.
Yeah, there are basically 2 dwarfs that are free. Well, there are some more in the back. But they're both Longbeards, so they can't like, they can't really reach the ball. They can get rid of the line rat here standing next to the runner, but that might not be enough.
Exactly. That's why I expected the line rats to cover that runner better, because those longbeards are not a threat this turn. Next turn, hopefully, you'll have a gutter there. So I really expected him to focus on that runner and keep him occupied there.
Okay. Putting one of the oh, here we go, blitzing free. That is good enough. Oh, yeah, that is not what Mallak wants. That I don't know. Maybe he wants to pick it up. Nope.
He wants to make sure the gutter can't get at it.
Well, I think... Oh, that's... I'm not sure about that, because that's a blitz onto the ball.
He still has an unactivated Longbeard. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I would have expected him to try and get in that gutter's way a little bit, but this works.
Whew,
Not just a blitz onto the ball, but an easy 2-die with only 1 GFI. And then depending on the bounce, that gutter runner could really, really do his thing. This should be good.
And the gutter runner is also not standing next to a tackle piece, so the gutter runner actually gets to use dodge to get away from here.
When playing Skaven against Dwarves, I always love having my gutters next to blitzers and runners.
Oh, this is not a... Oh, okay, so this is probably the gutter runner blitzing then.
I guess with no reroll, he doesn't want to risk the 1 in 9. And since the gutter has to get there anyway, it does mean his mobility might be more limited depending on where the ball bounces.
Yeah. Oh. No. Okay. Oh. Okay. That is... Oh, hang on.
You have to wonder what his plan is with this blitz action then.
Yeah, I don't like. I can't see a blitz action right now.
Well, only in the backfield, right?
No, that's
only
not
in the backfield is there a sensible blitz action. If this had been a knockdown, he could get the Troll Slayer down. But I think that's a bit premature. He doesn't want to be focusing on what his touchdown is going to be up there. He wants to be focusing on getting the ball into his hands and hopefully in a place where he doesn't get blitzed with tackle.
That said, if he does manage to get the gutter runner to actually, pick it up, having... Oh, yeah, there we go. Having Blodge sidestep makes life slightly safer. This is a kind of a tricky situation, though. Dodging backwards means you're next to the guard tackle piece, which you probably don't want to be.
And it's a GFI with no reroll, also.
Yeah.
So I think he's just going to stay there. Because if the runner uses his block action, then he's not picking up, which is already like one part of your objective accomplished. Whereas if you fail this GFI, you're just royally screwed.
What might happen here is the guard blitzer actually blitzing, or the guard storm vermin blitzing the runner off the gutter runner. It's a dodge out.
With a 3+ dodge and a GFI, yeah. Could do. If he makes that, he's in a very good spot, actually.
And these are both Longbeards, so they're probably... Oh!
We have a dodge from the other line rat over there, and this is suddenly a very favorable position, and he still has the blitz.
Yeah.
He can even just field the guard, like blitz the tackler. Oh, no.
Dodge failed.
No.
Close the roll to 2, needed a 3.
Which was more crucial. The dodge on the line rat was crucial, and the everything else is just extra. Because there is no good blitz on the ball. If he blocks the ball with the runner, he doesn't get to pick up this turn, which means the rats are looking pretty good right now. They've still got all their players. Oh wait, no, they've got 1 KO now, so they're down to 10. Ooh.
And that guy's dead.
Yeah. We have a casualty. We have a fatality.
Does Mallak care about that going forward? Probably not. It's a lineman.
But it's still nice to see some players die on the pitch. It's not really Blood Bowl if no one dies, is it?
No. And this means we'll probably see the runner blitzing.
I think first we'll see the gutter in the end zone getting blocked, because those 4 dice basically from the Frenzy Troll Slayer are pretty crucial.
Oh, what's happening here? No, it's the...
And it's not good, and it's good on the reroll though. Now he can sidestep into a relatively safe spot right between those two.
Yeah.
Which means the runner will have a hard time picking up unless there's a funky bounce. This stun is crucial. This 1 armor break could very well determine this game.
This, regardless of what happens here, this means that the rats will have to do some more 3+ dodging on their turn, which is not what they want to do. Okay, and the gutter runner up top has been knocked down, but not stunned. So still a scoring threat. Ball has not been picked up.
The pickup fails. Sure hands is not enough for the 4+, which means the rats still have a chance, but they don't have any easy plays right here. Everything is going to be dicey and tricky with agility 3 and marked players, so that's got to be tough. They have no way to free someone up. Which means they are in a very, very tricky spot. No rerolls. Anything can go wrong right here.
Whew. So we have a down Storm Vermin that could dodge out potentially and put a tackle zone on the ball with a GFI. Put an assist on the runner. Could also do some other funky stuff. Probably there's also a lineman to the middle left here, which can run in and, well, I was going to say remove some assists, but that's not true because both of the Longbeards closest to the ball here have guard. So
the best he can do is offer 1 assist on the runner and then make a blitz 1 die with the line wrap, maybe with the movement 6.
The thing I worry about, that is that it needs to be
a knockdown, a 5+.
Yeah, well, actually, hang on. It doesn't have to be a knockdown. Actually, it just has to be a push. It's this is when you're happy that you have 4 minutes a turn.
If it is a push, you'll need another dodge and a pickup though with the kicker, which is not ideal.
If it goes that far, I'd be tempted to punt it. Oh, that is not what he was looking for.
Oh, both down on a blitz. So he wanted to free him up just to get him down south, but the both down means his blitz doesn't let him move unless he makes the dodge, which he decides not to do. So now the Rat Ogre is blocking, but that's really just doing some less risky stuff. Which sounds weird, but yes, Rat Ogre blocking is less risky at this point, because every other option is even worse. Wasting the blitz action like that has really got to hurt Mallak here.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the best... Well, actually, I was wrong about the line right to the left, because he was knocked down before, which I totally missed. It seems like all that's kind of left is to decide if, do I want to risk dodging to put tackle zones on the ball, or do I not want to do that? Next, if the rats survive another turn, they'll have their blodge sidestepper. Gutter
I think
Runner.
they really need to start rolling some 3s and 4s here, the rats, because if they do not get the ball away from here now, next turn the dwarves are going to be all over it. They've got enough players. Exactly, those 3s and 4s are what I'm talking about. Yeah. So now what? Dodge out and pass? Even if it's inaccurate, getting a pass near that gutter brings up a whole different ballgame.
That is a 6, though. That is very likely to fumble.
Is good.
Oh,
and the pass
holy
is
crap.
a 5. With the GFI, it's a 5, I think. Oh, it is a 5.
It's a 5.
Inaccurate.
It's
but
inaccurate.
Like I said, inaccurate is good enough right here.
That is fine.
Wow.
There is.
Wow.
Hang on.
Wow.
Let's double check here. The Troll Slayer that's closest can get onto the ball with 2 GFI. Probably not going to happen. The Blitzer. Is the Blitzer going to reach?
The Troll Slayer is blitzing and he's knocked down the Gutter Runner.
That is, however, 1, 2,
no
3,
stun,
4, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. That dude is still in scoring position.
Yeah, the Gutter Runner could score next turn. That is huge.
The other Blitzer here has agility 3. Actually, there's 2 that have agility 3. The one that's next to the Rat Ogre is the one closest. But holy crap, this changed the game yet again. We are, however, running out of turns. Oh man, wow.
And while Cold Beer Belly has agility 3 like the other Blitzer, he is on a prehensile tail, which means in order to get to the ball, he'll need a 4+, then a 2+, and then a 3+, with no skill rerolls on any of them, which means he'll desperately need that reroll, which he'll also want to save in case this overtime ends without a score, because then your remaining rerolls add to your chance of winning the penalty shootout.
Yeah. And remember here, it's currently 3-0, so Mallak actually has a chance if this goes into penalty shootouts now. He didn't at the start of this drive. And just the fact that the ball is now in the Dwarf side of the pitch means that even if they recover it, they still have to move it, and they have 3 turns left. Or this,
Ooh, another punch, another injury on Sir Cuts.
Another line ran out. Regardless of how this game ends, I'd be very surprised if Mallak actually had more. If Mallak wins this, I'd be very surprised if he had more than 11 players going into what would then be the finals. And of course, whoever, even if they lose this, it's still the
the Blitzer makes the dodge. Ooh, he makes the GFI.
And the
but he fails to pick up.
If this scatters out,
because
that's a 1 again. It scatters. Or is it gonna?
It bounces out.
That is, the Gutter Runner can pick that up and probably punt it down if the Gutter Runner needs to. That's not what, that is not what Knockoff wanted. The thing I wanted to say was that regardless of who actually wins or loses this, both players are in another best of 3. If they lose the semifinals, it's the 3rd and 4th decider match. So these teams will keep playing, which it's less of an issue for the Dwarves because they're Dwarves, but if Mallak is really wounded at the end of this, and that's of course going to hurt his chances going forward, the Orcs and the Lizardmen are probably not going to suffer as much in that scenario.
But neither will they be earning a lot of star player points since
that's
they'll
true.
Be blocking against armor 9.
That is... That was the Blitz too.
And of course, if he drops in team value and gets a wizard, then that's not entirely bad either. So now what does he do? Punting is an option, but he's not going to be able to get to a place where he doesn't get blocked again next turn. He could also move in for an assist and then make a block up there on that Blitzer. But I expect them to see a punt here.
Yeah, I would move straight north and just punt it. Crap. Why is this so tense?
Now the fact that Knockoff used the reroll on that pickup, which he snaked, means he's also got a much less big guarantee of actually winning the penalty shootout. So for those of you who don't know, the penalty shootout, yeah, he's going for the assists and the block play. So the penalty shootout in overtime works as such: if there is no touchdown at the end of the overtime drive, both coaches roll a d6 and they add their remaining number of rerolls, and the coach that has the highest number come up wins.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate result, because this means that the gutter runner here will probably be pushed into the blitzer for extra blocks if the trollsage doesn't manage to knock down the gutter runner on his own.
Correct. If he had the sidestepper there, he would be in a really good spot. But with the rookie there, the Dwarves still have a great chance of knocking him down.
Oh, and now he's pushing the tackler piece. Why did he do that?
I guess the alternative was putting the tackler on the sidestepper. But still.
Yeah. I mean, the sidestepper is... Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Math.
He can even chain push the tackler onto the sidestepper with the frenzy. If he doesn't get if he gets the knockdown on the gutter on a POW on the second, then the tackler can still get the sidestepper.
But at this point, both the gutter runners are in scoring position here, and actually the line rat is also in scoring position.
And we've already seen that we shouldn't underestimate the line rats in this team, because one of them just made an amazing play with the pass forward towards this gutter who now has the ball.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think... Hang on. Let's do... I don't think the tackler can actually be pointed out by stream chat. Can't be pushed onto the sidestepper, because the way Knockoff would have to frenzy the gutter runner, then the second push would be to the right of the blocker. But that's not an issue, because the gutter runner has been knocked down and is KO'd.
Ooh,
let's see where the scatter goes. Oh. Okay, onto the dwarf. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Ooh,
for Mallak.
Be happy with that bounce.
However, the Storm Vermin can probably push one of the orcs onto the ball and have it scatter again, unless this blitzer tries to pick it up, which he actually might.
Yeah, but he's not going to want to reroll that, because the chance of him scoring is pretty slim.
Yeah.
So that's a very tough decision here for a Knockoff, because if he doesn't pick it up though, the ball bounces. I think he might just not try to pick it up.
Oh,
no, he
it failed.
Does he reroll?
He does.
He rerolls. Wow.
I'm confused. Okay. I guess he can try and pass it to... No, he wouldn't try and pass it to Longbeard. That's way too risky.
I think he's just worried about the gutter runner doing the pickup, and he feels that now that he has the ball in hand, he doesn't have to worry about that as much. He's also got the blitzer all the way where he failed the pickup earlier, who can come up here and cover up this event. And now he's actually got a reasonably decent formation around his blitzer, but he only has one more reroll for the penalty. Oh, he forgot about his Cork beer belly there, I think.
Yeah,
because he was still standing there on the sideline.
Yeah, I am pretty sure this is player fatigue. Playing 3 games in a row is definitely tiring. This is... So just to recap here, the Skaven have 2 turns left to score. If they score in those 2 turns, they win. The Dwarves only have 1 turn left. They only have 1 scoring threat, which is an agility 2 Longbeard that has just leveled up, by the way. And the Longbeard did move down to the side here, I think, to get away from this line rat in the back. So that might be the pass play they're going for. I mean, this Dwarf team has been known to pass. And at the start
it's interesting, though.
Yeah.
Do you think he would use his last reroll on that passing play? Because if he does, then and it fails, then he's back to a straight up 50-50 for the penalty shootout, which would be a terrible way to lose or win a semifinal.
Well, I mean, the other option is with a +1, you're essentially just winning ties. I don't know. Someone do the math. I honestly, at this point, I don't really know how big of an advantage winning ties, like how often that comes into play on a D6 roll. I'm sure it's more likely than, I'm sure it's more likely than the pass and run in, but this is a nice move by Mallak, putting the Rat Ogre in the way of this probably passing blitzer. Oh no, actually that's not the passing blitzer. This is a blitzer that hands off to the runner that runs down and then passes to the Longbeard, I would assume. Here comes the blitz. And another block.
Another bad blitz going to a both down. He's got to be very frustrated there.
I think the option left is to dodge out with the... Oh, no. Okay. Oh, this is... Okay, so... Oh, I'm... Okay. I'm slightly confused. I thought he would run the gutter runner down and actually base the Longbeard, but he might just get punched for that. Okay, so this is Knockoff's make it or break it turn. Still has a pretty fair shot at winning this, with the extra reroll on the final roll.
It's a weird play though, putting the Bloodstepper there, because that Troll Slayer was not going to do something really important this turn.
Yeah.
And if you want to stay around for scoring, you can do that just about anywhere. If you want to prevent the score, then marking the ball carrier seems like the way to do it. But I guess he doesn't want to get blitzed off because then he can't score. So this is kind of like a halfway solution, which doesn't really do anything.
I don't think this is a pass. I think he's just going to hold on to the ball here. Otherwise, I don't see why the runner moved where the guard runner moved. Or is he passing?
I guess you're right.
No.
No, he would be somewhere else.
Well, it's... this might be the shortest path because of the Rat Ogre if you don't want an intercept, but doesn't look like he's going to pass. I think he is...
He's considering it.
Ooh. Oh, nope.
No, he doesn't pass, which means there is no score for the Dwarves.
Now they'll have to knock down the Gutter Runner, which they do, which means...
Rat Ogre goes down.
And then I think they actually have to foul this lineman here. Nope. Okay.
Just getting the guards in. He's got two guards flanking the ball carrier on two sides here. That's fine. So their only worry is this one blitzer. I think he's still forgotten about that blitzer that failed the pickup 2 turns ago.
Or he has deemed the blitzer useless and he's like, no, you have to stand here on the sideline in shame. Which is probably
that's
less
the kind
likely.
Of play you do for the semifinals. You know what? You go in the corner. I don't want to see you for 10 minutes.
Okay, so there is there's a 2-die against blitz with the Storm Vermin here. Yeah.
And then who will do the pickup though? Suppose the half die is 2 pounds.
The knockdown line rat Nickut will have to do the pickup.
Or weak it, I guess.
Or just dodge out. That's a possibility. It's a push.
It's merely a push. So that means this is the end, and we're gonna go to penalty shootouts. Oh, that is such a pity. Oh, penalty shootouts in the semifinals.
It's been a hard fought game. I don't I don't think anyone really expected this. Yeah, well, regardless of what happens here, well played, of course, to both teams, and we will see them playing once more.
He can't even foul anything. That's so sad.
Penalty shootout. So they have a slight advantage the Dwarves do.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. The
Red Ogre. No. They get a chance.
This is the first penalty.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Both sides
they get to.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, 1-1. I've never seen this before.
It keeps going until the second person misses or the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Dwarves has a chance now. If he misses, then they lose. But he does have.
Oh, he missed!
He missed!
He missed!
So that's it! The Rats!
Wow.
Wow. Skaven passed to the finals.
Holy moly. What a...
Congratulations to Coach Mallak. Wow. What an incredible game.
What a series. I mean, regardless of who you wanted to win, that was intense.
Came down to penalty kicks.
Alright YouTube, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, remember to leave it a thumbs up at the bottom. And of course, if you'd like to see more videos, do check out the channel and hit subscribe on your top right.